Dear Wolf, first of all, thanks for taking the time. I'm excited because, I have been covering boxing since 30 something years ago. I used to
Mhm.
be a fighter when I was in Mexico, but boxing, let's say sports combat, needs to change. And dirty boxing maybe is the key.
Yeah, definitely agree, man. Both boxing and MMA, the UFC, man, it's just gotten too boring. Too many people worried about their records, and instead of just, like back in the day, man, everybody wanted to fight the best, and that's the mentality I bring.
What we can expect from you and Michael Garcia? You're gonna fight for the interim heavyweight title. I mean, and I can tell even before the fight, even before the weigh-in, that everything is like excited, new. So you don't know what is gonna happen.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. All I do is, I train hard, fight easy, and I leave the rest up to God. Whatever happens, happens April 10th.
Let me ask you. By any chance, you have a Latin or Mexican roots on your veins?
I'm Boricua and Dominican.
Oh,
Yeah.
mofongo,
Yes.
mofongo, mofongo.
See.
That's nice because when you think about Puerto Rico, even if it's a little tiny place,
Yeah.
I mean, guys, you have a lot of great fighters, musicians, whatever. But now, Dominican Republic is showing to the world that is not only about baseball; it's about boxing.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely got some hidden gems, man, and it's good to see, the light getting shine on Puerto Rico and DR. It's nice.
How's the feeling that when you think about Rob the Wolf Perez, uh, you need to think about sports combat, even BKB, dirty boxing. I mean, when there's a fight with rules, your name appears. You right?
Yeah, man. I just like I say, I want to fight the best, and whether I gotta go to the UFC or I gotta go to the Zone or I gotta go to BKB or whatever it takes, man. I want people to know when they talk about my name, they know I fought the best, because you can in boxing, a lot of people like to go 13-0, and you look at their record and they fabricated it to be able to get to that big shot, and then they get their big shot, and then fight, like say Richard Torres, and then they get slumped,
I
and then
know.
there goes their career. You know what I'm saying? I take every fight like it's my last, and that's why, when I get in there, I want to fight the best. Because my a person I look up to, Pritchard Cologne. He's really one of
Oh,
the reasons. Yeah, he's one of the reasons why I take every fight like it's my last, man, because you never know what happens in that ring. And then that's another reason why I don't waste my time fighting nobodies, because you can get one sloppy motherfucker and he start punching you in the back of the head, and you end up like him, man. And he's an inspiration. He really is to my fight career.
it is not only for fighters but for commentators. I mean, I used to be a fighter for a living before I became a sportscaster. But let me tell you something. I don't know if you know this, but my brands in English and Spanish, both are you can play boxing and no puedes jugar boxeo. So I respect and I understand because the people sometimes, sorry for this, but there are some stupid people talking about boxing that they don't know shit about boxing. They
Yeah.
don't respect and they believe that it's a game and it's not a game.
It's not, man. You can't play boxing at all. You really
No,
can't.
you can't. You can. And could you define for the people that maybe they don't understand or they don't know about dirty boxing? Please define everything about rules and everything. I mean, what is different if you compare with boxing? Let's say.
It takes it's a hybrid between boxing and MMA, and it takes the boring out of boxing and the boring out of MMA. Boxing. You get tired. You can grab them and you can
Yeah.
hold, and the ref breaks. Can't do that in DBX. You lose a point. MMA, they like to grapple and hold and wrestle. You can't do that in DBX, man. But they take all the violent, fun, exciting stuff out of boxing and MMA, the elbows, the punching, the clinching, and they just mash it into one rule set, and it's beautiful, and I love it, honestly.
And besides, 4 ounce gloves and a small ring.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's even the best part, especially I would say more for boxers because we used to 10 ounce, I train in 20 ounces.
I know.
So, I don't I do have a pair of DBX gloves, but I never train in them. I'm always wearing 20 ounces, and so when that time comes, fight night, and I put those gloves on, man, those hands, I'm in there sparring, 185, 180s, and the fact that I can catch them with 20 ounces and land a hit, man, the heavyweight division ain't got no chance to last with the Wolf.
Yeah, I agree with you. And besides, it's gonna take place in beautiful Miami, April
Yes.
10th. I mean, what else you can ask?
Yeah, you can't ask for any more. It's gonna be a beautiful night, man. No, you can't miss it.
Hey, how can you define Michael Garcia, of course, as a fighter?
Um, I mean, I give respect to anybody that steps in the ring, especially steps in the ring with me. But I don't know. I really don't got much. He's new. And I tried telling him this. There's levels to this. If you go back and look at his record, he only got two amateur fights, one pro fight, and then two in DBX. So that's a total of what, five? Compared to the close to 20 I've had in my amateur career,
Yeah,
my six I had in boxing plus the three I had in DBX. Anyone could you can put in a good prospect in a ring with a veteran and they're not gonna last. You know what I mean? The IQ is different. The way you handle the pressure is different. The way you handle the hits is different. And in my experience, he hasn't been in the ring with a boxer. You know what I mean? Or even let alone a crazy one like me. So I don't think he's going to be able to handle it when it comes down and that first bell rings.
wow. So, how can Rob Perez can define the wolf?
Man, the wolf and Rob Perez, they're two different people and they live in the same body. It
I know.
really, um, Rob is more the quiet, subtle family guy. The regular guy, and the wolf is I get to let that anger and aggression out, man. I really do believe I got split personality disorder, and I'm the crazy man, and you got to be crazy to do what I do. And I don't care. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. And it's worked out for me.
But I can tell that you are a very respectful person, but don't mess with the wolf.
Yeah,
That's you, right?
yeah. I definitely agree on that. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this very quick. Between hamburgers, arroz con mangú, or mofongo, what do you choose?
Oh man, I'm going to grandma's house for some pollo guisado with some
Oh,
arroz. Yeah, with some arroz con gandules, man, and some
yeah.
tostones and some pateles, man. Oh man, don't. I had to stay away from all that this fight camp, but definitely gonna go to her house when we come back.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about Puerto Rico is one of the greatest countries regarding boxing, but they don't have any champion in every single weight class. You can be a heavyweight champion for Puerto Rico as well.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely carry that with me. Definitely got to put on for the people, and show them that there's because our islands are small. Both Puerto Rico and DR, they're small. There's no money there, and then the money that's coming in, the man's taking it and extorting us or exposing us and whatnot. So to show, that young kid growing up that he can do what the Wolf does, man, that to me, that's an honor.
Yeah, let me ask you this because I don't know if you are aware that Julian Fernandez, the first Mexican to be champion of the world in BKB, now
Yep.
is fighting. So at the end, when you think about Puerto Rico, you need to think about Mexico and
Yeah.
the opposite because they are the most greatest rivalry in the world. So
Yeah.
at some point, you would love to fight against a Mexican guy.
Yeah. Well, Garcia, he's Mexican.
Like,
So
but do you? I mean, I want to say this with respect. Do you believe he's a truly Mexican that you're gonna fight against?
Nah, he definitely is not. I definitely would love to go to Tijuana or
Yeah, you know
any.
what I mean, right?
Yeah,
So
I
sorry.
want to fight. I want to fight a Canelo definitely because the true Mexican fighters, man, and that's where I get most of my style from. Like you got to take a hit to give it. It's just you sometimes you can't just be in there finessing and moving and sometimes like I really look up to Canelo when it comes up to that. Because he takes some shots, but when he gives it back, it's way worse.
I don't know if you understand this, but there are so many. Oh my God, it's hard to say for me, but some stupid Mexicans that they don't recognize Canelo. That's stupid.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, because I mean,
Canelo's still, man. Canelo's the man.
yeah, because it's like if you don't recognize Felix Tito Trinidad or Coro,
Yeah,
right? It's the same.
right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, again, if you uh, are not involved in this fight, let's say that you are not taking part of this, you are not involved in the fight. As an expert, how can you define the fight of you against Garcia? But let's pretend that you are not involved.
Okay. So you want me to break down the fight?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the way I see it from an outside view, he's tall, but he doesn't use his distance.
Okay.
He don't know how to use his jab. He don't because he's not a boxer. So he likes to come in close and try to catch you with the elbows, but you can't do that with a smaller guy that lives in that world, like a Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
you can't box. Or you can't look. Forget the elbows alone, because the elbows is just like a punch to me.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't fight. You can't fight a small guy a small way when you're a tall fighter. You're gonna lose.
Definitely.
His power close up is not going to be the same as the Wolf's power close up, and he's going to regret it. He's going to regret not staying away. He's going to regret not using his distance. And even if he does, it's easier. I feel like it's easier for the shorter guys to fight than the tall. I feel like it's easier to punch up than to punch down.
So definitely it's a fight that the people don't want to miss.
Yes, definitely. It's gonna be a war, especially any fight that the Wolf's in. Man, that dude's crazy.
Yeah, I know you're gonna I can tell that your experience is the I mean the element in the fight. And let me ask you this. Who you gonna dedicate your fight?
Dedicate my fight, man, to God, because I had an injury last year, and forget even fighting, man. I didn't think I was ever gonna be able to walk again. So through the grace of God, I was able to make a full recovery, and now I get to show people what God can do in your life, man. Because I don't care what no one says, man. He's real, and I'm a walking testimony from when I was born to now, man. If we had the time to sit down and I was able to tell you my whole life story, man, if you are a non-believer, you would be one after talking to me.
Amen. By any chance you already watched the movie Bleed for This, the story of Vinny Pacienza?
No, I actually haven't got a
Oh,
chance to watch that yet.
you need to watch it before the fight. Remember these words of this old man. Hey, bleed for this is the story of Vinny Paciencia. The
Yep.
people believe that he can even walk again, and he conquered two championships of the world. So, well,
I
my
think
friend,
that I think that's on Netflix, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
seen it, but I never watch. I'll watch it tonight after training.
it's the story of Vinny Paciencia, one of the best fighters. So, that being said, my dear friend, uh, let me tell you
Oh
something.
yeah, the dude from Rhode Island, and he
That's
had
the
the
one.
thing on his neck, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
I seen that movie. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
seen that.
it's gonna motivate
Vinny.
you.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
because Vinny, go
that
ahead,
was a
go
good
ahead.
movie. That
Yeah,
was a
I
good
know.
movie. And I live in Massachusetts, so Massachusetts and Rhode Island, we right there. So
That's the
yeah,
one.
man, that's such a remarkable, a remarkable story. There's a lot of fighters that go through that people don't realize that the injuries that we deal with, like Yoel Romero. He's another one. His
Yeah,
motherfucking neck is infused, and he's still out there at like 47 years old fighting bare knuckle. Dude's crazy.
yeah, I know. And I brought this topic because uh, I can tell that you are a man that always prove them wrong.
Yes, definitely, man. I've been I've been counted out my whole life. I've been written off my whole life, man. And the fact that I got the blessing to show everybody that, you know, I'm here is a grateful and a grateful experience and opportunity.
Hey, Rod, well, I wish you the best. You don't need luck because you train already.
Yeah, man. Luck is for the unprepared. That's what I like to
I
tell
know.
people.
Yeah, I know. Something that you wanna say before we close this amazing conversation?
Yeah, just April 10th, y'all need to tune in. Miami, Florida at the James L. Knight Center. And if you can't get a ticket, you're fucking up. And if you can't make it because you in another country or whatever, catch it on YouTube and come watch the Wolf do what he does best, baby. Oh!
Perfect, my man. Again, thanks for taking the time, and I hope God is in your corner.
Uh,
Dios en tu esquina.
sí, always, papá. Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew. Bye bye.
You, Ernesto.
Thank you. Bye
Appreciate it.
bye.
Talk soon.